Hey Falcons fans, we've got some exciting behind-the-scenes news just for you. But before we dive in, make sure to hit that like button so you don't miss any updates on the Atlanta Falcons. Trust me, you'll want to stay tuned as we gear up for the 2025 NFL season. Let's get into it. Big news out of Atlanta. The Falcons have officially hired Jeff Ulbrich as their new defensive coordinator for the 2025 season. If you've been keeping an eye on the coaching carousel, that name might ring a bell, and for good reason. Ulbrich has strong ties to the Falcons, having served as the team's linebackers coach from 2015 to 2020. He even stepped in as the interim defensive coordinator in 2020 under then-interim head coach Raheem Morris. Now, with Morris entering his second year as head coach, this is more than just a professional reunion. It's a partnership built on shared defensive strategies and years of experience. So, what can we expect from Ulbrich? One of his key philosophies focuses on the importance of length and physicality on defense. Whether it's shedding blocks or improving tackling, Ulbrich's approach to building a defense could be exactly what the Falcons need to step up their game. Let's not forget his credentials. As a former NFL linebacker, Ulbrich knows what it takes to succeed on the field, playing 10 seasons in the league. As a coach, he's proven his skill, most recently as the defensive coordinator for the New York Jets. While the Jets face challenges as a team, Ulbrich's defense consistently ranked third in the league in yards allowed for 3 straight seasons. That's proof of his ability to bring out the best in his players and create a tough, disciplined unit. Now, Ulbrich takes on the challenge of improving the Falcons' defense, which struggled last season. Atlanta ranked 23rd in total defense, allowing an average of 345.8 yards per game. They were 22nd in pass defense, 15th in run defense, and gave up nearly 25 points per game, 23rd in the league. Those numbers clearly need improvement, especially for a team with playoff ambitions. Before hiring Jeff Ulbrich, the Falcons considered several other top candidates, including well-known names like Lou Anarumo, Don Wink Martindale, and Matt Eberflus. While each of them brought something to the table, the Falcons ultimately chose Ulbrich for his familiarity with the organization and his proven defensive expertise. They believe he's the right person to lead this unit into a new and exciting chapter. So, what can Falcons fans expect under Ulbrich's leadership? First, look forward to a more disciplined and physical defense. Ulbrich emphasizes fundamentals like tackling and gap control, which could help fix some of the defensive weaknesses we saw last season. Second, expect him to build around the team's young talent while pushing for smart additions through free agency and the draft. His clear defensive vision means he'll likely prioritize players who fit his system and philosophy. Now, it's your turn, Falcons fans. What do you think about the Jeff Ulbrich hire? Is he the man to turn this defense around? Looking ahead to the 2025 offseason, the Falcons have some tough choices to make. With limited cap space and a defense in serious need of upgrades, the front office is exploring potential moves that could reshape the team's future. Today, we'll discuss 3 bold strategies the Falcons might consider to add valuable draft picks and position themselves for long-term success. Let's kick things off with a big one, trading Kirk Cousins. Now, before you start filling the comments, let's keep it real. Cousins has a no-trade clause, which means he has to approve any deal the Falcons want to make. That's no small obstacle. However, if another team sees Cousins as their missing piece and offers him a starting role, he might just be open to the idea. The bigger question is whether any team is willing to take on his sizable contract. Here's the rewritten and more engaging version of the third section. Let's talk strategy, Falcons fans. One possible move could involve parting with Kirk Cousins for even a late-round draft pick. While it's not the most exciting return, it could free up some valuable cap space and secure a day 3 pick. It's a small step, but one in the right direction. Moving Cousins isn't just about getting rid of a big contract. It's about creating flexibility to fix other problem areas on the roster. And let's be honest, Cousins' recent performances haven't exactly been game changers. Trading him would be a win, even if the return isn't spectacular. Now, here's a move that's bound to spark debate. Trading Kyle Pitts. Yes, you heard that right. Rumors have been swirling this offseason about the Falcons potentially moving on from Pitts. His raw talent is undeniable, but his impact on the field has been disappointing. At times, he seemed disengaged, and his production hasn't matched the hype that surrounded him. But here's the kicker. The Falcons might not only survive without Pitts, they could actually thrive. Atlanta still has plenty of offensive firepower, with stars like Drake London, Bijan Robinson, and Darnell Mooney leading the charge. Add in solid contributions from Tyler Allgeier and Ray McCloud, and this offense could keep rolling even without Pitts. Trading him could bring in much-needed draft capital to rebuild a defense that, let's face it, has been struggling. It's not an easy call, but it's one the Falcons' front office needs to think about seriously. Finally, there's the option of trading down in the draft. Atlanta currently holds the 15th overall pick, a tricky spot. This year's draft class is deep, but lacks elite quarterback prospects, making the middle of the first round a hot spot for teams wanting to trade up. If the Falcons can trade down and stack up on picks, they'd have more resources to address multiple needs. But here's the catch. If a top pass rusher is still on the board at number 15, the Falcons might have to stay put. Fixing the pass rush should be a top priority. Atlanta's defense has consistently struggled to pressure quarterbacks, and that has to change. The Falcons have spent their last 3 first-round picks on offensive players. Now it's time to prove they can find defensive talent that truly makes an impact. Trading down in the draft might be the smart play, but only if the right player isn't on the board. So, Falcons fans, what do you think? Should the team move on from Kirk Cousins? Would you consider trading Kyle Pitts to rebuild the defense? And how about trading down in the draft? Does it make sense, or should they stick with the 15th pick? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Now, let's shift gears and talk about one of the brightest spots of the 2024 season, Bijan Robinson. Despite a tough year for the Falcons, Bijan was a consistent spark on the field. Even when the offense struggled, especially during Kirk Cousins' final starts, Bijan found ways to turn broken plays into highlight reel moments. He's electric, dynamic, and just getting started. While Bijan's incredible season didn't get the national spotlight it deserved, often overshadowed by stars like Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry, make no mistake, his impact was game-changing. The 2024 season proved one thing. The running back position is far from dead. In fact, it's thriving. Players like Saquon, Derrick, Josh Jacobs, and Detroit's powerful duo have redefined how teams view running backs. These aren't just players who contribute. They're carrying offenses and leading their teams to playoff success. Bijan is clearly paying attention to this trend, and the Falcons should be too. Bijan even gave a shout-out to Saquon Barkley after his incredible playoff run with the Eagles. While the message was supportive, it carried an unspoken truth. The running back market is heating up. Teams are starting to recognize the value of star running backs, not just as runners, but as complete offensive weapons. You can bet Bijan and his team are watching closely, knowing this could impact his value in the future. The good news for the Falcons? They've got some breathing room for now. The clock is ticking, Falcons fans. Bijan Robinson is entering the 3rd year of his rookie contract, which means Atlanta has at least 3 more years of team control. That's great news for now, but it's a double-edged sword. The big question is, should the Falcons try to lock him in with an early extension, or take the risk of waiting and letting the running back market skyrocket even more? If Bijan decides to bet on himself and the rising value of running backs, the Falcons could be looking at a massive payday down the line. Players like Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry are setting the standard for elite running backs, and if this trend continues, Bijan's future contract could be record-breaking. But here's the catch. Bijan isn't the only star Atlanta will need to pay. Drake London, Bijan Robinson, and Michael Penix Jr. are all lining up for extensions in the coming years. That's a lot of talent to manage, and keeping it all under one roof won't be easy. So, what do you think, Falcons fans? Should the team start working on a deal with Bijan now to secure him for the long term? Or should they wait and see how the market plays out? And how do you feel about the rise of running backs in the NFL? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Before you go, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Your support means everything to us, and we've got plenty more Falcons news and insights coming your way. Go Falcons!